Let's talk about making lists. And to that end, I want you to go into your Files tab here and open up three files. One is our original index document. One is a document called Lists. And another one is one called Definition Lists. Open those three. Let's start with the one called Lists. So we're going to go to the tab right here. Remember when you use lists, we have ordered and unordered lists. Whatever one you choose, they are for helping organize information for the reader. Ordered lists require a certain set of priorities. You do one thing before the other. So in my example up here, I have an ordered list on going to the store. Now, obviously, I have to get my car keys before I can start the car. So there is an order to that list. That's important. To create an ordered list out of any text you have in Dreamweaver, we're going to select it. Now, each one of these items was entered, and then we press the Enter key to go to the next line. So we select all of them, and you will notice the spacing is going to go away. I'm going to go to the Text tab right here, and you have OL for Ordered List. And there you go, the 5 steps. We'll talk about modifying it in a second. An unordered list has items in it that you want to organize, but it's not really important, obviously, what order they're in. So in this one, we'll go ahead and select all these items. And we come over here and we'll select Unordered List. Now, do you have to type all the information in and then make the list, or can you make it from scratch? And the answer is, of course, you can make it from scratch. If we go to the bones of the body, let's go here to the right and press the Enter key. Now, let's say we're going to do an unordered list. Go ahead and select UL up here and just begin typing. The leg bones connected to the shin bone, I think, at least last time I checked. And the shin bone's connected to the knee bone. And the knee bone's connected to the foot bone, and I think that's about it. So we can make them. To get out of an ordered list, you can either come up here, say, for example, to the word Format, go down to List and say None on the next line down. Just press the Enter key twice. 1, 2, and you're out of the list. So we have all these different lists. Let's say we need some subcategories. For example, on our unordered list, we have steaks, but we're not really getting into detail. So we're going to click to the right of the word steaks. We're going to press the Enter key. That's going to take us down a line. Press the Tab key once to bring it in, indent. You'll see a different bullet appear. That's default. And we'll type in, say, ribeye, because I like ribeye steaks, and top rounds. So we're going to get some steaks, but they're going to be ribeyes, and they're going to be top rounds. We could do the same thing for, say, baking potatoes. We could say we want some golden potatoes and some russets, R-U-S-S-E-T-T. Now, I'm not sure if that's a double T or a 1. I guess I should have checked that out before I did this lesson. But we can always do this. Let's leave that at a double T. Go ahead and select it. Come up here to the word Commands, and let's do a spell check real quick on that. And actually, it's 1 T. That's fine. I'm going to click Change. It's going to ask me if I want to finish checking. I'm going to say No. So we can add things to lists that are already there, and we can indent even up here. Say we say Get Into Car, and then we press the Enter key to the right of that and press the Tab key. You'll get another subheading or an indent for that one. Get Into Car on the driver's side, behind wheel, in case I'm not really sure where I'm going. And you get the idea. You can go on and on and on with this. Let's say that we want to make some changes. Let's go to Bones of the Body and select all of the items in that unordered list. We want to change the bullet. Now, you really don't have a lot of options until you get into CSS, but we can go up to the word Format and go down to List and select Properties. In Properties, we can choose a different list item, a bullet, or a square. And like I said, you don't have a lot of choices here. Let's say we're going to change those to squares. And if this were an ordered list like we have up here, you would be able to change the numbering system and start the count, say a different number if that's important to you. We're just changing to square, and we click OK, and that's kind of hard to see, but those are now squares. So we can make these simple lists. If for whatever reason you don't want it as a list anymore, and you've already saved it and reopened it, so you can't do undo, what you can do is say, for example, select everything, go up to the word Format, go down to Lists, and select None, and it will take it out. Now we're getting the spacing back. We're also getting the indent here. If you don't want that indent, we can select it right here. Go up to the word Format one more time and go Outdent. And every time you do that, it will start bringing it back until they're back in order. It's up to you. So if we want to get rid of one, it's very easy to do. Let's go to our definitions list option right here. Click that tab. A definition list is kind of like a dictionary. Okay, so I've got like gravity. It's not just a good idea, it's the law. And I want to put these into more of a definition type of list. This is actually pretty easy. Now we have 3 buttons for it up here. We have definition list, which comprises all the stuff that you see. Within those areas, you will have a definition term, and over here you have definition description. Now here's the good news. It's going to do it all for us. It's going to help us out. What we want to do is select everything. Again, I press the Enter key after each one of these. That's all I did. Go ahead and select them all. We come over here and press DL for definition list, and as you'll notice, it does everything for us. If we do go to the code, let me just show you this real quick. Go to the split view right here. You will notice in the code, it actually does the DT and DD statements for the definition and the term itself, because it assumes, and in this case assumption is a good thing, it assumes that every other thing is actually either a definition or the term itself. So you got it done. You want to add to it? Let's say we add something right about here. And again, it'll make all the decisions for us. Press the Enter key one time. It doesn't look like anything happened, but it will as soon as you start typing. We'll type in shin bone. All right, now you will have to redo the formatting, the bold part. We're going to put a colon on the end. Press the Enter key again. Again, nothing happens till you begin typing. And the definition for shin bone to me would be a device to locate furniture in the dark. Ouch. Period. And you can see it does it automatically for us. Again, if you don't want that anymore, you can go back up to the word format and go down to list and say none to get rid of it. So we have a definition list. Let's go to our index page and make a few changes to that. So we go to index HTML. Let's do one thing first. Go to the right of the word site. This has nothing to do with the list, but let's make this a little bit different. Come up to the common button right here, and let's add a horizontal rule right there. Let's do one more thing to it. Make sure it's selected. Come down here to the properties panel, right down here. Change the alignment to center. Now, the default is center, but I like to specify these things because you might every once in a while get a wonky browser that's about 800 years old that defaults to left. So I like to specify that. We don't want any shading. We're going to turn that off. Just makes it a little lighter. And instead of making it go the entire length left to right, let's change pixels right here to percentage and type in, say, 95. 95% of the width. Remember what's happening. That's 95% of the width of the page based on the client and how wide they're making it. Let's do one more thing. Go to the left of city government and click right there and press the delete key. That's just going to remove that space and give us a little closer area next to it. So we like that. We're happy. What we want to do based on what we've done with our work on lists is just turn this into an unordered list. That's going to be very easy. Let's go ahead and select all of the text that we want to make into the unordered list and simply go over here into our text tab and go unordered list. Notice how everything gets a little bit smaller, tighter. I do like this. It's possible what you're seeing might be a little bit different than what I have, and by that I mean it's possible that arts and culture, environmental services, etc. might have gone black. That's fine. Don't worry about that. But we've created an unordered list for our city at work. And we're going to do one more thing here. Understand something about reading something on a monitor. When you read things on a monitor, if you leave the background as white and the text is black, or actually any color, you're going to generate eye strain after a while because it's more of a projective device than a piece of paper. On paper, black and white's fine. So what I want to do is let's knock down that background just a little bit here. Let's go up to the word modify in the pull-down menu and go down to page properties. And in page properties, go into appearance and select background color right here. We're going to choose just a really light shade of gray. Now the color that you're choosing, let's go ahead and click OK. Now the color you choose for the background can also generate emotional impact, like red's an exciting color, it's a color of danger, blue is a color of trust, you get the idea. Gray is just a way of muting that white so you don't get eye strain when you're reading something on the web. Remember that when you're creating your web pages. Black and white are good on paper. They're not all that great on a screen.